So folks, I have been seeing this footage of a guy by the name of Wes Watson going all over the place on the internet, and I figured I would comment on it because it seems like there are a lot of emotions involved with the entire situation. I don't know exactly what the details are, but it sounds like this Wes Watson guy has scammed a lot of people out of money, and people are really wanting his downfall. But I figured I would give a unbiased third-party opinion on this entire thing because I just feel like that maybe might be the best way to address it. So, long story short, this guy Wes Watson, he did time in prison, and it seems like mentally he's never gotten out of prison. Based on everything on his Instagram, how he talks during podcasts, he's still in the mindset of everything is prison rules and that's just how life is, and it's just dumb. You're out, brother. Like you're out of prison. Why continue to act like you're in prison? Why continue to glorify it? Do you think real people, like the real ones out here, think that's cool? Do you think that people legitimately respect it? Like, oh, hell yeah, brother. Like, you did 10 years in prison. You're so badass. They don't. It's looked at like a bad thing, unless you're around people who also did prison time. And then it's looked at like, I don't know, you're a cool guy. But that's the minority. I don't know. I feel like this is logic and simple thinking, but I don't know. Some people become institutionalized and can never get out of it. And that's Wes Watson for sure. So Wes Watson is a self-proclaimed life coach. And I'm not really sure how you can be a life coach when you've done a lot of your life in prison. Just doesn't really add up to me. A life coach is supposed to get you through life in a great way. And if you've done prison time, I just don't know how that looks that good on a life coach's resume, but hey, who knows? It's 2025. I mean, we've seen weirder stuff. Folks, not everybody is super excited about how the economy is going, and that includes banks. Over 300 banks are at risk of failing currently, and it's one of the reasons why I choose American Hartford Gold to protect my money. Throughout our lifetime, the dominance of the US dollar has been unquestioned, but that has definitely changed. As we face unprecedented inflation, even like we said, banks are starting to fail. And for me, that leads me to put more and more money into precious metals. So now is the time to call the only precious metal dealer I trust, American Hartford Gold. They'll show you how to protect your savings and your retirement portfolio by diversifying your assets into physical gold and silver. If you have a bunch of cash in the bank, I would be scared at this moment. American Hartford Gold has a 5-star rating with the Better Business Bureau. Tell them that I sent you and they will give you up to $15,000 of free silver on your first order. So call now, 844-940-0662 or text HEAVY to 65532. Make sure that your savings and retirement are protected with American Hartford Gold. No one else is going to offer that kind of protection, especially not banks. But he's been getting a lot of hate online because of apparently he scammed people or people are emotional about what he's done. So he's told people on his YouTube channel to come and fight him at a gym. And look, I'm sure he regrets doing this, honestly. I'm sure he probably wishes that he had more of a stoic mindset of people are hating on me, I don't care. But this guy, Wes Watson, just sweats out insecurity. I mean, you can see it all over the guy. So naturally, when people are hating on him, he wants to be like, oh, come and fight me. Come and fight me, bro. Let's do it. So look, there's nothing necessarily wrong with it. In Texas here, we have something called mutual combat. If two dudes are done talking and they want to duke it out. But there are rules involved with mutual combat, both in terms of a moral aspect and then also the law. And I look at this situation like mutual combat. There was a guy who pretty much took him up on his request saying, hey, come and fight me. He showed up at the gym and wanted to fight him. I don't see anything wrong with it. I think it's extremely stupid. I think it's childish. I think it's filled with insecurity of, oh, let me show you how big of a man I am instead of truly believing that you are one. But still, if two guys want to do it, I don't think it should be against the law. In Florida, there's no such thing as mutual combat. I think it's a joke. I think it should be legal in every state. I don't think the law should be able to tell two men that if they are past words, that they can't fight. Anyways, here's where this goes wrong, and here's what I have a problem with. Most of you know on my channel, I used to rodeo. So I've been in quite a few fights. And there were pretty much only two rules. You don't hit a man when he's down, right? Like if you punch him and you knock him on his ass, you wait until he gets up. Otherwise, it's done. If he doesn't want to get up, if he's done, leave it alone. You won. You taught him his lesson. The second one is you better make damn sure nobody else jumps in. It's between you and the guy. It's not between you and the guy and then however many buddies you want to jump in. Absolutely not. That's what this situation was. This guy comes up and confronts Wes Watson, and all of his buddies take it upon themselves to be like, oh shit, this is still prison rules. I mean, literally, that's what you would think in this video. If I was Wes Watson and I was in this situation, I would be fighting my buddies before I fought this guy. Simply for the fact that they jumped in. That is the biggest sorry ass soft response I have ever seen on a fight. All of Wes Watson's buddies are telling the entire internet, you know what, Wes Watson, he's a pussy. He can't handle this entire situation himself. So we got to jump in. Yeah, we better jump in. So we make him look like okay, but for the real ones out there who understand how this stuff is supposed to go, we know we all look like pussies. So a lot of people are saying that Wes Watson should be charged. I have a difference of opinion on this. I think this thing is stupid. I think Wes Watson is a gigantic pussy for not telling his buddies that this is not prison and I don't want you to help me in my own fight. But let me explain. Wes Watson tells people to come and fight him. The people who are willing to go and do that, they're idiots. Not because Wes Watson is some badass fighter. He's not. Guaranteed he's not, based off of this footage. It's because you're wasting your time. That proves nothing. You're not more of a man. You're wasting your time and you're just going to have a whole bunch of consequences involved with it, whether or not you beat the dude's ass. The part that's the problem is that people gave into it. They're like, oh, wow, yeah, I do need to do this. But at the end of the day, here's my opinion on this whole thing. If Wes Watson tells you, hey, come and fight me. Hey, why don't you come and shoot me? Hey, why don't you come and, I don't know, try to cuddle me at the gym? Who knows if he's gay or not? I mean, it kind of seems like he's gay based off of his Instagram photos, which is fine. I mean, dude, if you're gay and you're in the closet still, that's fine. But if Wes Watson tells you to do something, do you have to do it? The answer is no. So the dude who went and got his shit handed to him, it's kind of on him. Even though the whole thing was, in my opinion, the softest fight I've ever seen because all of his buddies jumped in. It's still on him. That being said, I want to give a warning to Wes Watson and anybody like this guy. I know he's got a whole group of dudes that he trains to be exactly like him, and it is the most moronic mentality of life. Let me explain why. At least here in Texas, I know there are a few other states and more towns, I know Florida for sure. People don't want to fight. If you truly have a problem, someone's going to pull a gun and they're just going to blast you. Do I agree with it? No. But if you're that much of a threat and you've got 4 dudes with you and you've got a weapon in your hand, people aren't going to go to hands. They're just going to blast all you guys. Do you guys think about that? I mean, seriously, you guys think everything is prison rules. Like, oh man, do you have your shank? Oh man, what do you got? I don't know, man. I got a shaved off toothbrush. This is the real world. People don't fuck around. And as much as you think fighting is badass and saying, oh, well, why don't you just come and fight me, dude? Somebody may pull up with a gun and be like, okay, dude, you're done. But should Wes Watson be charged? No, not in my opinion. He didn't tell his buddies to jump in. I mean, maybe it's the mindset that he's taught them, but in my opinion, all of his buddies should be charged because they were not a part of it. That was not mutual combat. That was 1 against 4 or 5. Regardless, I think Wes Watson is skating on very thin ice because, dude, this is the internet. You're talking to a lot of people and you continue to mouth off. There is a possibility that someone out there is not going to give a fuck. Just like you've said before, some people don't care about the consequences.
Put in it. Some people don't give a fuck about the consequences. That's the thing about life. You can do anything you want if you don't give a fuck about the consequences. And a lot of you pussies who are online talking shit are going to catch a big old monster on the wrong day. That was nothing. You think that's something to talk about? That's nothing, okay?
Exactly. But this ain't prison. People out here have guns. Someone probably doesn't give a fuck and is just waiting for you to say the wrong thing or do the wrong thing. So I would tread lightly because you think you're so badass with your chains and your watches and your cars, but everyone sees through it. So take the recommendation. Settle the fuck down. No one is intimidated by your prison shit, your prison talk, the buddies that you're with. No one is. At least the real ones. If you're intimidating people who have no self-worth, you might as well be boosting your ego by intimidating an anthill at that point.